We are recording the interview of Keturah Edwards. This interview is being conducted by Ericka Carter and Jeremy Tkach from the Wright State University Veterans Voices Project. This interview is being recorded at Wright State University in the New Media Incubator. It is 1:25 p.m. on June 8th, 2018. Hi.
Hi.
So when and where were you born?
I was born in Manila, Philippines. When? September 26, 1980 something.
Okay. Okay. Who were your parents and what were their occupations?
Okay, my father, Tkach Edwards Jr., he was in the, he's a Marine. I can't say was a Marine. He's a Marine back in, like, before the Vietnam War. And I think he spent 40 years at Aramco, which is an American oil company in Saudi Arabia. So he was never really here. And then my mom, Gloria Edwards, she has her own little farm right by the beach where I plan to retire one day. And yeah, she just has a little farm over there.
Okay. Any siblings?
Yes, I have three siblings. One half-sister, she's in Oklahoma. Then Tkach Edwards, he's in the Philippines. He just had like his child, little girl. She's so pretty. And Kenneth Edwards, he's in the Philippines too. I think he's about to have a baby soon.
Did anyone else serve?
No,
Just you?
just my father
And you?
and me.
What were you doing before you entered the service?
I was going to school actually for graphic design and arts. That's what I was doing before I joined.
And which branch did you join?
I joined in the United States Navy.
Why? That branch.
The why? I don't know, actually. Because I know I didn't want to become a Marine because I heard that they had to run like 3 miles. And I don't have the resting heart rate or the heart rate for that. So I just joined the Navy. I thought it would be a little more easier. Turned out to be wrong.
Okay, were you enlisted or commissioned?
I was enlisted.
And where was your basic training?
Ugh, Great Lakes, worst place. I went there during the winter. Chicago weather is so disrespectful. It is so cold up there. I think we had to walk around with like a mask on and then we had to have a scarf on. It's just so much crap that we had to have on because it's really, really cold up there. I wouldn't want to go back just because of the weather.
Okay. Have you been since?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's absolute no.
No.
For you. What was basic training like?
Okay, when I first got off the bus, I think my first words were, sorry, I'm probably on the cuss, like, what the fuck did I get myself into? Because they start yelling at you, like, the moment you get off the bus. They're like, get up, recruit, you're so fucking lazy, hurry the fuck up. And you're just, like, shocked, like, the moment you get off and, like, why are you yelling at me? Then they have you, like, up against this wall, this long corridor, and then you have, like, you're in attention, and this is, like, the time where I didn't learn that you couldn't bend. I mean, I had my knee straight, so apparently that's the worst thing to do when you're at attention. So you just have like these chiefs and these other petty officers just yelling at you. And then I've never felt like they started calling me female, and I was like, that's kind of disrespectful how you saying that to me. That was my first night. Then during that time too, they will have to you have to do a piss test. Problem is they don't have like stalls, so it's like just toilets in a row, and you have to do it in front of other people while this petty officer is looking at you. And then if you're like embarrassed or can't pee in front of people, well, you're gonna have to learn.
Okay, so that was a challenge.
Yeah, it was a challenge. It's really like you don't get to have privacy pretty much.
No.
And
So what are some of the positive points you took away from basic training?
Oh.
Do you remember any instructors specifically?
Okay, yeah, I remember AD1 Tarkington. I think they processed her out for like the wrong reasons, actually, what I heard. But she stood out from all my RDCs because when I got stress fractures, like cracked like a couple of bones in my legs. I got sent to a different division because, of course, I can't run with broken legs. She said, get your shit together. Don't even talk to the other females because they'll just put you down. And then just graduate. I just want you to graduate. That's all she said to me, like the last day.
And you did. Yay.
And I did. Yeah, I actually cried when I finally graduated because I was in boot camp for 4 months. It's supposed to be a 2-month thing. I was in boot camp for 4 months. So I cried my eyes out.
And after boot camp, you went to your job-specific training.
Mm-hmm.
What is that called?
My A school.
Okay.
It's in Florida, Pensacola.
And what was your job?
Aviation, bosun's mate. That's on the flight deck.
Thank you for clearing that up.
Like if you see the Navy commercials, we're like the Skittles on the flight deck. That's pretty much what it is.
Okay. Can you talk about anything specific in your training? How long was it?
I can't remember. I mean, it's been like 5 years, 6 years. No, it's actually been 8 years. Okay. There's a lot of firefighting because we are on the flight deck with machines and stuff, and you can see videos of old like aircrafts exploding and stuff. So we had to learn a lot about firefighting and how to handle a situation like that. And of course, landing an aircraft, like procedures of doing that, and some of it, like, I think I remember the most when a pilot like sets off I can't remember those lights that they set off, that they needed assistance if they do it right by the ship. That's one of the things that I remember learning from that book.
Okay. After your A school, did you have any other training specialized or? No? Okay. You just went right into your first duty station.
Yes.
Which was where?
I was assigned on the USS Iwo Jima. It's an LHD. At that time, they were deployed in South America. They were doing Continuing Promise. It's a humanitarian thing that the Navy does. I don't know how they pick their ships, but that's what the Iwo Jima was doing at the time. So I was there for like 2 months, and I met them in Panama, actually. And then I thought it was kind of like a different side, because all you see like in the media and other places that, the military just like destroy stuff or something. But during that time, it was like a different side. It was humanitarian work. They would bring in families from the mainland or in Panama, and then they will like give them medical attention, mostly medical attention. And you can see like they bring their children in, they get their shots and everything. I thought it was really, really a different side of the Navy.
And is that something you enjoyed the most?
I mean, it was nice. Yeah. I mean, helping out the other people. And we also, Panama, then we went to Cartagena, Colombia, and then, what else was it? Costa Rica, and then Haiti. I think Haiti just experienced a storm, so we had to go there. This is back in 2010. Yeah, 2010.
Okay, and how long were you on that specific boat?
On the Iwo Jima, I was there for like 4 years.
Well, so was that your whole tour on that?
No, it's that was a deployment. I think it was like a 6-month deployment. I only caught like two months within the deployment. And then, but in the Navy, depending on your rate or your job, you have different times to serve on the ship. So mine was 4 years on the ship, I think, or 5 years on the ship, and then like 3 years on shore duty or on land.
Okay.
Yes.
What else can you tell me about your tour? Did you do all of the years?
Yes, I did. No, I did not. I only did 4 years on the USS Iwo Jima. We deployed. I was there for a full deployment back in 2012. At the beginning of the deployment, my job changed for like 4 months, the beginning of the deployment. I got put in with the security people, the MAs. That was a funny experience.
Please tell me about it.
Because I was the only girl in the division. I was the only one. And the guys, even though I was older than them by a couple of years, they treated me like their little sister.
Was that a positive experience?
I mean, it was just funny. To me, it was funny. I thought it was really cute. I just remember one night on deployment, I was in the mess decks. It's like a cafeteria. And I saw my friend, Wallace, he was eating because flight quarters just got done doing their thing. Flight quarters is when, aircrafts come in, go, they do their training. It depends on what the mission is. And so I sat next to him, and then I see the MAs over there, MA2 Kuhn and MA2 Crawford. Pretty sure they're higher ranking now, but I see them, and then I see them like talking, like saying something smart, and then they come next to me, and then they were like, "Who's this?" I was like, "This is my friend Wallace," and then they were like, and Crawford's like, "If you break her heart, we break your neck," and then walk off. I'm like, "Can you guys not? This is just my friend." So yeah, that was a fun experience, and that's when I met my mentor now, who is an NCIS officer, Sir Cooks. It's really, because back then I called him Chief Cooks. Mm-hmm. Now he's like an officer, and he keeps telling me, "You can call me Jamal now since I'm not in the military anymore." I'm like, "Sir, that's not gonna happen."
Do you still keep in contact with other people in the military?
Yes, I keep in contact with Tacola Jones and Ariel and her wife, Crystal Penalva. Yeah, my bad. Crystal Earl, since they got married.
What over your military career, how did you adapt and transition into that?
Adapt transitioning to the military?
Yeah, so basic training was extremely long for you,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a little difficult. After that experience, going into your first duty station and then your duties
Mm-hmm.
on that ship, how did that change for you? How did that change your life or influence your life?
Well, when I was before the military, I was like a shy person. I wouldn't talk, especially because I came here in the United States at the age of 19, and I had this really thick accent. I'm pretty sure I still have it. My English isn't my first language, and I wouldn't talk because everyone would point it out. "Oh, you have a funny accent." So, but when I got into the Navy, they want you to change. They pretty much train you to change. Like, you can't be a shy person. Like, that's what Sir Cooks will always do to me, especially when I was with the MAs. They were like, "You need to order him to get his shit together." And I'm like, "Sir, I don't want to talk to this person." But they made me do all that stuff and the training. Oh, that reminds me. When I actually joined with the MAs, they had me do the security. I can't remember what it is. NSF. Anyway, they spray. I forgot what it's called. Pepper spray, or I don't know. OC spray. Not, what is it called?
OC spray.
OC spray on your eyes. There's still a video of me getting sprayed my way. That's not the most fun experience at all, because I don't know. It hurts to cry, but your face hurts. And then you have to do like all these obstacles, like you have to hit a pad with a baton and then try to like fight this red man. It's like a guy in a suit. But it was fun though, even though it hurt. It was fun going through that.
You came out on top. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's just a fun experience with them.
What did your family think about your time in the military?
My mom was scared because she thought I was going to go to war. And my dad made fun of me because he's a Marine. He called me a squid.
Coming off your deployments, how did you feel?
Relieved, because it's 9 months of seeing the same damn people. People will come up to me and like, "You used to smile a lot." I'm like, who would smile when I have to see your face for like 9 months straight? I'm sorry, that sounds so horrible of me, but I hated it. I mean, it was nice to like get over, do the 9 months and then, say that you deployed, but I just got sick and tired of looking at the people. The job was like fun because it kind of made your day go faster, doing flight operations. But I don't think anyone would smile in that heat. It was just so damn hot over there.
And where was it specifically?
We were in Saudi Arabia at one point, and Jordan a lot. Yeah. Actually, on my deployment, I got to see my dad. Yeah, that was fun. He's crazy. Because I was planning, I think I was the only E3 was allowed overnight liberty in Bahrain, because I was like, I'm going to be with my dad. And so the CEO and XO approved of it because I'm with my dad. Like, there's like no other authority on top of that. They didn't know that he's crazy. So me and him go around Bahrain. I drink too, but I see that he was drinking a lot more than me. So I had to get him to the hotel and make sure he got in bed. And I was like, this is supposed to be my time. Why did you take it away from me?
What's it like living on a ship?
It's a floating city, pretty much, because everything's on there. Like, there's a hospital, there's an airport. I hated it. I mean, because I see the same people every day. But what makes it better is when you develop friendship, like Takola and Ariel. I probably wouldn't be able to survive any of my deployment without them.
Did you keep in contact with friends and family back home, and if so, how?
Yes, by email. Actually, the deployment, that's when my grandmother passed away. So it's kind of hard. It's really hard.
Did they allow you to go home?
They did, because she was, sorry. Can you cut it, please?
Continue.
Yeah.
We are continuing the interview of Keturah Edwards at 147 Wright State University on June 8th, 2018.
Okay.
So, what did you do on the ship during your, I'm not at working hours.
Oh,
When you weren't working, how did you?
Weren't working?
Recreational.
Okay. Deployment, there's nothing to do. There's either to go on to the gym and then sleep, because there's like on the flight deck, people are required 8 hours of sleep. It's requirement. It's in the book. I mean, it's in black and white, because you don't want people with less sleep operating that type of machines. Should have listened to that last year with all those ships crashing. But yes, it's a requirement for like people in air department to sleep for like 8 hours and do laundry, I guess, and go to the gym. Like, I was pretty fit back then. Now I'm like,
I disagree.
But on shore, when we were back in port, we'll just, how people will regularly just do, like go to a movie or like do whatever, I forgot what they call that area, like a recreational group things. So it's a lot of stuff to do when you're back on port.
Okay,
Not as much in Norfolk, though.
So can you walk me through your first duty station, where you were assigned to, and then your deployments? Can you give me a timeline?
Okay. 2010 is when I joined. In the middle of 2010, I believe I got flown to Panama because they were doing, I forgot what's called, that deployment call. But
So this was a deployment, and what base were you attached to? Or are you?
They were attached to, the ship is attached to Norfolk Naval Base over there. And then we come back. We got back at the end of the year in 2011. We were in port, and we were doing in-serve, which is an inspection that the Navy does before they deploy. If you don't pass, then you're just screwing the next ship, pretty much. And so by 2012, we passed in-serve, and that's when we deployed.
Again.
Okay. And that was like 9 months.
And
So
this was in Panama?
No.
This was in
The Middle East
Jordan.
now, yeah.
Okay.
We went to the Middle, Europe, the Middle East, yeah. Then we got back in November, I believe. Yeah. And then 2013 we were in port because we just got back. And I believe the Kearsarge took over there. or the Baton. I cannot remember which ship it was that took over our spot. And then 2014 is when they gave me orders to go to the USS Boxer, LHD-4 in San Diego. That was nice.
Tell me about that.
Because of San Diego, I never had a burrito for breakfast. I was really confused on why on earth people would eat burritos for breakfast until I went to San Diego. That was like heaven. And then was totally confused about putting fries in burritos because they have a California burrito. Again, that was really, really good. And I think the base over there in San Diego is right next to downtown, the convention center. So it's really horrible to drive there during Comic-Con. Don't go there during Comic-Con pretty much.
Okay.
Yes. And they have like the little strip of bars, as you know, any downtown area will have. So it was fun. I got really fluffy.
What was your job then? Was it the same thing?
Same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. We did, right before I left, they were doing in-serve again. And that's when they deployed, and I said goodbye. I think my time was done in the military.
Now, English is your second language, as you said
Yes.
before. Did you ever need to use your first language for the military?
Oh my God, yes, I totally forgot about that. Well, it was during the 2012 deployment. It was funny because me and my Chief Baking, she's also Filipina, and they were like, who in here speaks a different language? Most in Asian countries. And I'm like, what's up? They're like, you don't speak a different language because they couldn't apparently hear the accent. As my other chief, she kind of had a thicker accent. So we get to the officer mess decks. I don't know. Yeah. And then we have like this intel officer in there that's giving us an interview on what languages or dialects do we speak. So I was the only one who know how to speak just one dialect, which is Tagalog. Every other person knew like Ilocano and Kapampangan, which is another dialect over there in the Philippines. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get picked to do this. So the person that got picked was Chief, but since she would have been the easiest to find because she's on the flight deck, if they would have left, they'd taken, I think it was a hostage situation, and they needed translators for Chinese and Filipino people. And so my officer, my Divo, comes up and is like, we're going to have you do the translator thing because we need Chief Baking here, and you're like the easiest person to find on the flight deck. If they left by air, but if they left by Tkach, which is like it's a water type of balloon. I think I call it a balloon. It's like underneath the ship. They will have someone else because they'll be easier to find. And so that's what I didn't get to do it because the Army was like, oh, never mind. We kind of just finished the mission. Even the Army was on the ship too. I don't know what they're called, like these little aircrafts. They're so cute and tiny. And you can get hit by the rotor blades, so you have to be very careful. But it's like, I can't remember, like 6 people fitting into this tiny little helicopter, and it sounded like bumblebees when they come in. It's really cute. But yeah, I thought that was fun. That was the first time we had the Army on our ship, which is fun.
So being a woman in the military, do you have any suggestions? Were you treated differently? Was it a huge difference in the male and female?
Yes. Me and Tacola have actually this problem. Me and her, Tacola Jones, will usually get in trouble because of our faces. Because when someone says something stupid, apparently my face says everything that I'm thinking. And she had that problem 10 times worse than I did. So me and her usually get yelled at. And I remember in San Diego, I was minding my own business. Then my first class comes in and was like, oh my God, I need to get this qualification. I shouldn't have gotten it when I was like an E5, but now he's like an E6. And apparently I looked at him. I just looked at him, what I think I did. And then he says, Edwards, You just cussed me out like 3 times. I don't need to hear whatever you have to say. I'm like, you know what? I'm out. I just hid my face because apparently I get in trouble because of it. But being a woman, it's hard. It's very hard.
Why?
Well, on my first ship, they treated me like, you know, I told you the MAs treated me like their baby sister. And then when I got back to my actual division, they want you to like do everything. Had no problem with. I mean, that's what I signed up for. My last ship, on the other hand, oh my God, that's when I experienced sexism. I had like one of my first cousins tell me that he wasn't going to listen to me because I'm a woman.
How did you handle that?
I walked off. It's the only thing I could do. He was higher ranking than I am. And then, because I don't know, like even other people knew that he was sexist. And I was like, y'all not going to do anything about it? Whatever. But he left the ship and I was just ready to get off. I think at the time, I was just done. I was just done with all that.
What are some of the life lessons that you learned from the military, if any?
Everything happens for a reason, I guess. I mean, I wasn't planning on joining the military. That was not in like, my life goals. But I would never I will keep it as it was, how my life has been so far.
Has your military service affected your outlook on the military?
I know now that military people do help because my first deployment was doing humanitarian work. I mean, I think they get like some areas get like bad, like, other branches get bad reps. Because the Marine, like, I believe the Army, some of them got spitted on, especially like the Vietnam veterans, they get spitted on and been called baby killers. So, I mean, now that I'm in, you get you see differently. Like, some of this, like, they just have to defend themselves, especially when they're in the Middle East.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. You got to deploy twice and got to see the world. What was your favorite port of call?
Cartagena, Colombia.
Why is that?
One. They had a really good alcohol over there. I do not know what it's called. I have to like email my friend Munoz because it's in Spanish and I can't speak Spanish. But it was like a margarita but with sugar at the bottom. It was really good. Yeah.
Sounds good.
What was your proudest moment serving in the Navy?
When I graduated boot camp.
Why is that?
Because I was in there for 4 months and I thought I was not going to graduate. So when we did battle stations, I think that's what it's called. It's like this fake boat you have to go on and pretend that it's sinking and do like all these other tasks. So when I got done with that, I cried because I wasn't not called a recruit anymore. I was called a sailor. I'm not a recruit anymore. Or be like, female.
The Navy has a unique culture that's kind of different from the other branches.
Mm-hmm.
How has that either impacted you or what did you make of it?
I thought it was a little too much, but I mean, it was fun. It was like a different language in a way. Like it was like a secret code that other branches wouldn't understand pretty much.
Is the Filipino mafia real?
No, it's not, okay? There's no such thing. The Filipino mafia is not real. I would have been in it, okay?
Your transition out and back into civilian life, what was that like?
It's hard.
Why?
Because I have a nephew. He's 6 years old. It was hard for me to talk to kids because it was like I had no patience. I yelled at him if he didn't do anything I said. And then his mom was like, he's just a kid, remember that? I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I'm not yelling at like a bunch of new people anymore. So it was hard for me at first. But now, I think it's something I miss, but I want to do it again.
You want to go back in?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Now, it's something I miss, but I don't think I'll do it again.
You would not do it again? Okay. I'm sorry about that. What message would you like to leave for future generations who will hear or view this interview?
Oh, I guess life is hard, I guess, because I'm in school right now, and I think this is harder than my military experience. But then again, at that time, I thought that was hard too. So I would say that you just have to work through it, because nothing in life really is easy. I mean, if it was, then everybody would have done it. Then you won't like feel that excitement of accomplishing something.
Is there anything you feel like we haven't discussed or should be added to this interview?
No, I don't think I have anything else to say.
Nope.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes the interview of Keturah Edwards.